guys, welcome back, and here we have the second part to the book of Exodus, which will be a long running series of videos on this channel, Day to Day Christians. Where we left off is that we have this child named Moses who was saved miraculously by Pharaoh's family and is now a prince of Egypt. And his people, the Israelites, have been made slaves by the Pharaoh, and that they are under heavy burden in being forced to make cities and great sculptures and all those magnificent Egyptian artifacts that we know today. And now we're going to look into the rest of the story of Moses in his early life in Egypt. So let's get into it. When Moses grew up even more and became a young man, he pitied his own people for the hardship that they were under by the Egyptians. And one day, it records here, he went out and he saw an Egyptian beating one of the Hebrew people. And Moses looked around and saw no one was there. And so he actually murdered and killed this Egyptian that was beating one of his own Hebrew Israelite people. And then he took the body and buried it in the sand and hoped that no one would find out or know about this thing. And the next day he went out and he shows more compassion for his own people, and he tried to stop a conflict between two Hebrew Israelite men. But then the men say, "Who are you to command us? And are you going to murder us like you did the Egyptian?" So Moses became fearful because he was aware that people knew of the evil deed that he had done. When Pharaoh found out about what Moses had done to this Egyptian, he sought to kill Moses. So Moses fled and went east towards the Sinai to the place called Midian. Moses traveled far and was resting by a well when 7 daughters of a priest in the area came down to get water for themselves and for their livestock that they had with them. And then these shepherds came in and were trying to cause harm to the women and to shoo them away. And Moses actually stood up and defended the women and got the shepherds away from them, kind of saving them. So these daughters took Moses back to their camp where they lived and told their father, who's named here Reuel or Jethro, and told them about this man, this Egyptian, who had saved them at the well. And so the father said, "Let me see this man. Let us feed him and welcome him into our place." And so Moses was welcomed there and ended up marrying one of these daughters named Zipporah. And together, the two of them conceived a son named Gershom. At the end of chapter 2 here, it tells us that the king of Egypt, the Pharaoh that was trying to hunt and kill Moses, was finally dead. And then it goes on to tell us that the people, the Hebrews, the Israelites in Egypt, were groaning and crying out for help. And at the very end of the chapter, it says that God heard their groaning and saw the people of Israel. So here in this next chapter, guys, we have Moses developing into a man that has pity for his own people, who's aware of his situation and the power that he has. And he does something which is a sin, something drastic. He kills an Egyptian and he starts this journey on trying to be the better person. But Pharaoh finds out about this murder, and so he's given no choice but to flee from Egypt. But once he's fled, he arrives in this area, this people, this family that are God-fearing people. And he marries this woman and bears a son. And while all this is going on, the old king in Egypt, the Pharaoh, has passed away. Yet the suffering and oppression that the Hebrews, the Israelites, are going through is still happening, and it's getting worse and worse, and they're groaning and they're crying out for help to God. But God hears them, and God knows about their suffering and plans to do something about it. And we'll get into what happens next in our next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon on the next one. God bless you. Bye for now.